There's a phrase the Stoics lived by that sounds, at first, completely unreasonable. Amor Fati, love your fate. Not accept your fate, not tolerate it, endure it, or make peace with it. Love it. Nietzsche borrowed the idea centuries later and put it as plainly as possible. You would not want anything to be different. Not forward, not backward, not for all eternity. Not merely to bear what happens, but to love it. I suspect your first reaction is close to mine. That sounds easy to say about the good parts, the promotion, the recovery, the relationship, but the diagnosis, the redundancy, the year that broke you, love that? It sounds delusional or cruelty. So today, I want to take Amor Fati seriously. What it asks of you, what it does not ask of you, and why it might be one of the most quietly powerful ideas that the Stoics left behind. Let me start with what it is not, because people tend to mangle this idea into two opposite directions. The first mangling is toxic positivity. Everything happens for a reason. Good vibes only. It is all part of the plan. You have heard this. Perhaps someone said it to you during one of the worst moments of your life, and you felt hollow as it sounded. Amor Fati is not that. The Stoics never asked you to pretend painful things were secretly good. They did not ask you to smile through grief, or to lie to yourself about what hurts. Marcus Aurelius buried children. Epictetus was enslaved and left with a damaged leg. Seneca was exiled and later ordered to die. These were not men who thought life was gentle. Amor Fati was shaped by people who knew exactly how hard fate could hit. The second mangling is fatalistic surrender. It is the shrug. Nothing matters. Whatever happens, happens. Why bother trying? That's not it either. The Stoics were generals, senators, teachers and advisors. They acted, they planned, they worked, they took responsibility. Loving fate never meant lying down in front of it. So what does it mean? Here is the version I stand behind. Amor Fati is a decision about your relationship with reality, especially the parts of reality you no longer have the power to change. What happened has happened. It is now fixed as mathematics. You have two choices. You spend your life at war with it. You resent it, replay it, and demand in some private courtroom that it should have gone differently. Or you embrace it as a new material of your life you now have. Not because it was good, because it is yours. Because everything you build next must be built from it. Notice the difference between this and acceptance. Acceptance is a truce. You stop fighting the fact, but you remain resentful neighbours with it. Amor Fati goes further. It takes the event into the story. It says, "This is part of my life too, and I will use it." Marcus Aurelius compared this to a fire. A strong fire takes whatever falls into it and turns it into fuel. The event does not change. What the event becomes in your life does. I have had periods where a plan I cared about fell apart, and my first instinct was to treat the whole period as wasted time. I kept looking backward, trying to work out where I had gone wrong, and how life should have unfolded instead. What changed was not the past. What changed was the question. I stopped asking, why did this happen to me? I started asking, what does this require from me now? That period forced me to question what I was chasing, what I was avoiding, and whose definition of progress I had accepted without examining it. I would never have chosen to collapse. I also would not remove everything it forced me to learn. It became load-bearing in the person I grew into. Here is the mechanism underneath this. This is why Amor Fati is more poetic than language. Suffering often arrives in two layers. The first layer is the pain of the event itself. It is real. It is unavoidable. It is human. The second layer is the ongoing war with the fact that it happened, the resentment, the why me? The endless mental replay of what should have happened instead. Life sends the first layer. We often manufacture the second, then keep manufacturing it for years. Amor Fati is the practice of closing that second front. Not because the event was acceptable, but because remaining permanently at war with the unchangeable means losing the same battle every day. The past does not feel your resentment, only you do. There is a test I find useful. Take the hard thing in your past, the one you would like to most edit out. Now look at everything that followed. The people you met, the decisions you made, the strength you developed, the life you now recognise as yours. All of it grew in the real timeline, the one containing the event. Remove the event, and you also remove the chain of consequences that followed it. You remove relationships, you remove opportunities, you remove parts of the person considering the question. Most of us, pressed honestly, would hesitate before pushing that button. That hesitation matters. It suggests that someone inside you, there is already a quiet and complicated gratitude toward a part of you you have never chosen. Amor Fati asks you to stop hiding that from yourself. It asks you to let gratitude replace the war. Now we reach that part where we need to be careful. What about the things that are simply terrible? What about the losses with no clear silver lining? What about grief that teaches nothing worth its price? And honestly, more than making philosophy sound neat, Amor Fati does not require you to call those things good. It does not demand gratitude for cruelty, abuse, illness or loss. It asks for something smaller and more humane. Stop demanding a different past. Stay open to what remains possible from here. Sometimes loving your fate means carrying it without hatred. That is enough. The standard is not joy about everything. The standard is no longer living at war with what it is. So how do you practice it? First, catch the courtroom. Notice when your mind starts relitigating, the unchangeable, the argument replayed, the decision remade, the if only spiral. Name what is happening. This is a case against reality, and reality does not attend these hearings. Then ask the only useful question. Given that this happened, what now? Given that, is Amor Fati move in miniature? It replaces the war with the work. Second, practice on small fate first. The cancelled train, the rain on the day out, the plan that collapsed, the person who arrived late. These are your training weights. When something goes wrong, treat it as part of your day rather than that interruption to the day. Say, even really, this is what today is made of. Let us see what it becomes. It sounds minor. That is how you build the reflex. And the reflex is what you reach from fate sending us something heavier. Third, retell one story. Choose a difficult chapter from your past that you describe as pure damage. Ask what else is true about it. Do not invent a silver lining. Look for the real ones. What did it teach you? Who entered your life because of it? What did it make you capable of? What did it reveal about you? You are not changing the facts. You are deciding which facts to get to define the chapter. I once described a difficult period of my time as I lost my direction. Now I describe it as the time I stopped following a direction I had never consciously chosen. Both versions contain the truth. Only one helps me live forward. This is where the idea lands. You will get one timeline. Not the one you would have written, the one that happened, and the one that is still happening. Every hour spent fighting its interchangeable parts is an hour taken from the only life you have. The Stoics believed there was freedom on the other side of that fight. It is freedom of someone who has stopped demanding a different past. Someone who has stopped trying to control an unwritten future. Someone who turns their strength towards the present. Not despite their fate, but with it. As a fire takes fuel, love your fate. Not because it was all good, because it is all yours, and because what it becomes next remains in your hands. If a chapter from your own story came to mind while listening, that might be the chapter worth retelling. Stay a while if this helped. There is more here every week on Living Quietly in a Loud World.